Matt and Leah, 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 Matt and Leah. Pancake, 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 pancake. Matt and Leah, Matt and Leah, Matt and Leah, Matt and Leah. Pancake, 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 pancake. Matt and Leah, Matt and Leah, Matt and Leah, Matt and Leah. A pancake.
What is up, boys and girls, and everything in between? This is Bear With Us. I am Matt. She is Leah. Leah, how are you, my dear?
I'm fantastic. I know you make fun of me because when I'm home, that's the luxury of recording from home now. I get to wear my sweats, wear my hair up with my little sports bra, my
One
little
titty hanging out.
I mean, you always gotta have a titty out. There's
One
always gotta be a
titty.
little something. I gotta let you know where you're working with.
Well, now that we're on YouTube, the Bear With Us listeners
Right.
can really enjoy that one titty. There it is. There, we just got our most viewed video right now.
I enjoy being lazy and in my comfy clothes. It makes me feel comfortable.
It is comfortable, if nothing else. I remember you were like very skeptical when we first started doing the home recording process. You were like, I don't feel it. I'm not in it.
Yeah. But I'm feeling it now. Like I'm feeling this. You guys don't see my hand.
Oh, they see the hand. I mean, they see what they're allowed to see.
I don't know what to do with my hands. How are you, babe?
I am exhausted.
Exhausted? Why? Why are you so exhausted?
I am physically exhausted because my fitness journey continues. I am mentally exhausted because, as we discussed last week, we went from pandemic lifestyle with all the free time and relaxation one could want, plenty of sleep, plenty of fluids, to
plenty of fluid.
Back to the grind, like all in. Every day it seems as though we've got something new on tap, something we have to accomplish, some goal or task that needs to be done, and I'm worn out.
Well, we were just talking about this earlier today. We went for a little walk with Mr. Pancake, and we were saying how it's just, the pandemic really, we did slow down a lot, going from this crazy lifestyle we had with our jobs. And, you and I, before we were living together, trying to travel and see each other. So all of this stuff, all this craziness, and then to go from that to what we were doing, maybe traveling one day a week for work. And now it's really picking up again.
Well,
and
case in point being this podcast.
Yeah.
It was created out of boredom because we had nothing better to do with our life. Now we find ourselves having to carve time out of our week, set it aside, schedule, plot, plan. It's like another job all of a sudden.
But it's a fun job. It's not like a regular job. It's a cool job.
It's fun. It's cool. I mean, I think, there's a lot to be desired.
I will say this. A lot of the messages and emails we get, a lot of people are writing in saying how we are actually, our advice is working, or if not that, then it's the fact that, listening to this podcast really helps them realize like, okay, they're in their relationship and their relationship is just like ours. So many people are writing, oh my God, you're just like me and my husband, or my wife is so much like you, it's relatable, and that makes me really happy. So more than anything else, it makes me feel good to know people are writing in and people are actually listening to this and it's working.
It is cool. It is cool when I open the official Bear With Us mailbag and check things out, bearwithUspod@gmail.com. If you didn't know,
now you know.
Messages from people, to your point, that say, hey, if nothing else, you give me something to laugh at while I'm at work, or you help me forget about life for 30 minutes a week, which to me, that is more valuable than anything. So it is kind of cool. We'll get to the mailbag in just a little bit, but whatever you're doing, stop it right now if you haven't already. Subscribe to the official Bear With Us YouTube page. We continue to grow. Now you can look at Leah shaking her bosoms like some sort of woman of the night.
Baby.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. Big fan of women of the night.
Oh, are you?
That's right.
Okay. Good to know. I have something I want to talk about.
Okay.
Do you love my nails?
I do love your nails. They're quite wonderful. They're very different. They're eclectic.
Let's show the YouTube view.
Oh yeah. See, look at that. See, now if you're listening to this, you're going, oh my God, what on earth do Leah's nails look like? The suspense is killing me. I better smash the subscribe button on the official YouTube and see for myself.
Check them out. But I was getting my nails done the other day, and the woman that's been doing my nails for the last month and a half or so, I've gotten to really know her. And
Wait. Let me stop you right there. The woman who's been doing your nails for the last month and a half or so, you on average get your nails done, what, once a month?
No, every 2 weeks.
Okay, so that's maybe 3 times.
So full disclosure, I've gone to her twice.
Okay, well, that was what I'm saying. You're
But
like,
it's
oh,
been
we're best
about a
friends.
month.
I know what state
A
she
little
was
over
born
a month.
in. I know
Okay,
her blood
first of all, I
type.
know a lot about her because I sit there for at least 2 hours, and I don't mess on my phone when I'm with her. We actually sit and have a conversation, which, you sit there, like, that's a lost art nowadays, to
Yeah,
be
no
able
doubt.
to sit and talk with someone and just kind of bullshit. And so I feel like I really do know her. To my credit, I feel like I've known her for like months or years. But she brought up something that I really want to talk about on this podcast that I think was funny. Because she was complaining about she was asking me if I thought it was too hot in her studio. She's like, "Are you like, is it too hot in here for you?" I was like, "No, I'm actually comfortable, but I'm someone who's always cold." And she's like, "Oh my gosh, me too." And she was saying that her and her husband, the thing they fight about the most is control over the thermostat. And I thought that was something like we've never really talked about on this podcast. And it's something I think is a huge point of contention in relationships.
I don't know if it's a huge point of contention. I've always thought it was more
is.
the joke is always dads. It's like a dad thing. Oh my God, you can feel 1 degree of difference. Did somebody mess with the thermostat? That's
Sure.
like that's the neat dad joke. But to me, I don't think that's really a point of contention.
Oh my God. Okay, well then we have to ask the Bear With Us faithful, you guys listening, is this something that you and your partner have fought about on a pretty regular basis? I'm not saying it's something that you talk about every single day, but I personally think it's something that a lot of couples argue over. And she was saying that she always likes the temperature to be about 74 in the house. And he was freaking out like, "Oh my gosh, 74, that's too hot, right?"
Way too hot.
We keep ours at about 71.
Right.
72 sometimes.
If it were up to me, it would be 68 everywhere.
No, I think 70 is good. To go to sleep now, I like it about 67, 68. But for me, like every day, or during the day, I want it to be about like 70-ish. But when we go to bed, I like it to be cold because I want to, cuddle up under the covers and get comfy. What about you? Do you like it cold
I'm
at
still
night?
waiting to find the contention here. I'm with you.
Okay, well, because we're on the same page.
Right.
Sometimes we do argue when we're in a hotel room.
Right.
You make it like 65, and for me, I get like,
because to me,
what do you call it? Hypothermia.
You don't have hypothermia.
But I feel like I get that.
To me, it's way easier to warm yourself up than it is to cool yourself off.
But sometimes you can't. I agree, but sometimes you just can't shake that chill. And some people don't like to be cold when they go to sleep. Some people want to be warm, I guess. Like my parents, for example, my mom's always cold, but when she goes to bed, she likes it to be freezing, and my dad doesn't. So they fight about that. Excuse me, I'm gonna burp again. I don't want to burp again.
Burp in the mic. Just go for it. It's gonna.
That was really embarrassing. I know. I thought it was gonna be better. Anywho, I do think this is something that a lot of couples fight over. We don't, because we, for the most part, agree. And you just kind of like give in because I'm always right. Right?
Sure. What else is on your mind other than hypothermia and temperature statistics?
Well, kind of going on this, piggybacking off of always being right. Someone commented on one of the photos on our Instagram videos. Someone commented on one of the photos of the Instagram videos. Does that make sense?
Are you drunk?
Someone commented. Someone commented.
Your tongue just triple in size?
Babe.
I didn't even understand. I'm sitting next to you and I barely understood what you just said.
Get off my back, bro. I want to touch on something. Oh my God. You're like Michael Scott when he's trying to talk to Daryl. You guys, I had a realization last night. I don't know if any of you watched The Office. I know I'm all over the place right now, but I don't know if any of you
are.
I don't know if any of you watched The Office, but if you know the dynamic between Jan and Michael, that is so me and Matt, except roles reversed. Like Matt is Jan and I'm Michael Scott. You just like, remember we were talking about this last night in bed? You were just like, Jan is such a bitch to him, and he's just like obsessed with her and like wants to be everything she wants.
I'm not a bitch to you.
But I think that's what you portray on the podcast. You act annoyed by me, like you don't like me.
I'm not that talented. You can be quite annoying. You definitely, I've learned to tolerate
I
you.
hate you. So you really think I'm annoying?
You have the ability to be extremely annoying.
Babe.
Luckily, I love you and I know that that's not in your heart who you truly are. So when you know,
Are you kidding me? You think I'm annoying?
I don't
I need
think
to walk
you,
out of the
as a
room right
rule,
now.
are annoying. I think you have the ability to be annoying, and I think you do it to get under my skin. I think you do it for the purpose of winding me up.
I'm just being myself. This is me.
Oh, poor me. I don't understand.
I'm just being like, I'm a little hurt right now.
You're not hurt.
I might shed a tear.
You're not going to shed a tear. You know exactly.
What the actual? My heart is hurt right now.
It's not hurt.
Ugh, okay. Going back to where, I mean, I digress, as you know, and I'm also annoying.
You're digressing, you're regressing, you're
undressing.
Good Lord.
The theme of the day. No, but something I do want to talk about. Someone commented on a video that we posted on the Bear With Us Instagram page, which if you're not following, go follow it right now. Bear With Us Pod, I think is the Instagram handle. If not, just look up Bear With Us. But they were commenting and saying how they trained their husband to basically do everything that they want their husband to do. And I thought that was very interesting because we have mentioned that on the podcast before, right?
But I need some context as to what they mean.
Well, I was talking about
training.
chores. Like I posted the video about, you know, do you and your partner argue over who does the chores around the house? And most people are saying, oh, well, I cook and clean. He takes out the trash. He mows the lawn, you know, things like that. And she said that he basically does everything. And she's like, but it took a lot of time and a lot of training.
So it all makes sense that 15 minutes before we sat down to record this, you said, babe, we need to have a chat. I'd really like for you to pull a little more weight when it comes to cleaning in the home.
Yes, I would.
Which I am not going to argue with you about. If you want me to do more, I will do more. But I also took a slight bit of offense to that because I feel like I'm a pretty clean guy and I pull a lot of weight.
Okay,
that
so
dishwasher
can you tell me what
is
you
empty
do?
as hell.
Okay, you did empty the dishwasher tray only because I left all of the dishes in the sink for you to empty.
None of them even belong to me. I just saw the sink was full.
None of them belong to you.
That the dishwasher needed to be emptied, so I did it. This isn't something I need like a badge for or a plan. I don't need to write a schedule.
I know, and we don't need to take a tally of who does what. However, I do feel like I do a lot.
I never disagreed.
All of the laundry. I most of the time do the dishes. I do the cooking. When I do the cooking, I usually do the dishes. Sometimes you do the dishes, but most of the time I do because I do the dishes as I cook.
But okay. So to that point, that's a choice that you make.
Sure.
I've never known anybody who washes the dishes as they cook.
Because I hate a mess in the kitchen.
Understood.
Most of the time, I vacuum. I wash the floors. I wash the mirrors. I wash the
out of things.
When's the last time you Swiffered?
Last week.
That's a
every Thursday. No, it's not. It's not a lie. Every Thursday, you go to the airport. I go to the gym. I go to the store. I come back. I empty the litter boxes because I'm the litter box boy. And guess what? As soon as I'm done emptying the litter box and take it out to the trash room, I go and put a brand new Swiffer sheet on and I Swiffer the whole goddamn floor.
Well, that makes me happy.
Eat it.
Okay, that makes me happy that you
done
do
with this.
And I do appreciate it because I know a lot of men don't do that.
To appreciate me.
Okay, that's not even what I'm talking about when I'm talking about training. I'm talking
about
about
like hardcore BDSM.
Well, baby.
You gonna, like make me walk around on a leash?
Wouldn't be the first time.
Yes, it would.
Okay, no, but what I'm talking about is I don't know, and I feel like really skeptical talking about this because I don't want to give away all the secrets because I'm sitting here right next to you. But ladies listening right now, you know what I'm talking about when you're talking about training your man. Like the thought of like if you and I break up, if something were to happen and you were to break up with me.
At least I know to poop on the pad.
It really pains me and gives me such anxiety to have to start over with someone and have to retrain them the way that I would like my partner to be.
So basically, you're just with me because I've been trainable enough that you don't feel like starting from scratch.
Right.
Good.
Exactly.
Good. I am like a shelter puppy who you took in and you went, oh, you know, he's not exactly what I wanted. He doesn't have papers, but he sits when I tell him to. That's me. That's me, the damn rescue dog.
This is why it's difficult to talk about this with you, my partner. I'm giving away the secrets, but it's something that I think a lot of women do. You kind of like groom your husband or your boyfriend or your partner to do things the way you like them to be done. And, a lot of times, the man is like, he's the man of the household or whatever your role is, right? Whether you're with I don't know if you're some
I'm
guy.
sitting back
I
and
know, because I'm trying to explain this the right proper way, how at least I look at it. But I really do believe a lot of women out there will agree with me when it comes to like certain things that you like to be done, like you like it to be done a certain way. So, and there's not even like specifics, it's just kind of how we do things, like you and I, like
so you
as a
accidentally
couple.
train somebody unintentionally?
No, it's very intentional, but it's like
How have you
without you
trained
knowing.
me?
Okay, so for example, when we first started hanging out, you always liked going out and doing things. You couldn't just sit and relax and chill. Me, I'm someone who likes to hang out and chill and relax. I don't like to go out a lot. I don't like to go to bars or like once in a while I like to go for a nice dinner, don't get me wrong, but for the most part, I like to hang out at home and just I'm a homebody. You are not.
I'm not. I'm still not.
But how
I've
much
learned.
better have you gotten at relaxing and chilling at home?
Right. I mean,
That wasn't an accident.
Oh, it wasn't.
No.
Oh.
And
Okay.
here we are. Is your mind blown a little bit? Because this is now we like doing things
So
like
how
that.
how did you walk me through the steps of how
Hey.
you subliminally, subconsciously trained me and broke me of my busybody habits?
It's I don't know how to explain it. Like I can't give tips and tricks of how you train your partner.
Well,
But
then
I
what the hell
just
are we having this conversation
because
for? Aren't you trying to give tips and tricks?
no, I don't try to give tips and tricks. I
You're
think
just telling people it's possible.
it's possible. Yes. And I think you probably have done it to me without me knowing. I wonder if there's anything that, I do now or I consciously am aware of because you've instilled that in me without me knowing. Do you
No,
think?
baby, because I love you the way you
Oh,
are since day
off.
one.
And I love you the
It
way you
was
are. And I'm
like-
not trying to change anything about you.
It
I
was like
love
I
you.
went directly to the Westminster Kennel Club and said, "Hey, who's getting the blue ribbon this year? I want that one. That's my dog. It's perfect to love.
Oh my God,
It
fuck
doesn't need
off.
trained. It just needs nurtured and appreciated." That's how I feel about you. Meanwhile, I'm the dog with one eye in the cage, and you're like, "Well, he's cute in like an ugly way."
Okay, that's not it at
That's
all.
basically how
I'm telling you, this
receiving
is a
everything.
thing that people do in relationships.
Okay, what else? How else have you trained me?
Let's think here. When it comes to like even what this person was saying when they were talking about chores around the house, right?
Okay.
She says she trained her husband and it took a long time, but I think a lot of times people use sex to do something like that. You kind of like hold sex over someone's head and like, or like, babe, can we do this? And you're like, no, I don't know if I really want to do
So you're
it.
trying to seduce people into
Yeah,
doing
I
what
think
they
a lot
want.
of times people do that too. Like, and everyone has their way of going about it. I don't know how this person specifically trained their husband to make sure he cooks and cleans and
Have you
does
utilized
the
sex with
chores.
me to make me do something regularly?
Well, babe, I'm not going to tell you that.
Oh, I'm just trying
But the
to
answer
think.
to that is yes.
Well, you got to give me an example.
No.
You can't just tease
No,
that.
because it's something that does it's a secret. My mom actually told me this a long time ago, that this is something I'm disclosing secrets here. But as a woman, this is something that we can use.
You have a power. There's no doubt
Yeah.
about that. I think all women have
Yeah.
to learn that whether you look at it from like just a pure sexuality standpoint or I've even read books where it's looked at as a type of almost witchcraft,
Right.
not literally magical,
Sure.
but it's using the power that you have to gain what you want.
Yes.
I know that's not foreign.
Right.
I'm just curious, specific to Matt and Leah.
Baby, I
where
can't
Leah
tell you
has
that.
well, I need to know. I need to know.
I can't tell you that. But you know what I will tell you?
What?
So let's give 2 weeks, right? Let's put 2 weeks on the calendar and I will do that at some point in 2 weeks and I will come back and let you know and you won't even know. That's how crazy this is.
So you're going to get me to do something
Yeah.
by utilizing sex.
Yep.
and you're not going to tell me what it is,
Yep.
I mean, I feel like it's probably going to stand out.
You think?
It's got to be.
Oh,
if there's like some sort of
there's an
task
art
and
to
you're
it.
like,
Well, then
oh,
maybe let's not
baby,
do 2
the walls
weeks.
need painted. Here's my nipple.
Maybe not 2 weeks. Let's give it a little bit of time, but we do this as a weekly podcast. Let's come back and revisit it at some point, and I'll come back and be like, oh, remember that thing? And you'll be like, your mind will be blown.
I think that's a cop out. I think you're just going to be like, oh, hey, remember when you did that really nice thing? You really did it because
No. Well, here's the thing. I'm just trying to say, like, this is something that people do. Maybe not just women. Maybe some men do this. I believe that some men do this. But maybe write in, send us a message, send us an email. If this is something that you can relate to, and this is something that I know a lot of women do to train their partner.
Dragon.
Yeah, how to train your dragon. There you go. But it's something that people do, and I think that I know I know for a fact I'm not the only one that does this. So if you do this, let us know. Write in. That way,
You're basically trying to assemble an army of
No,
women who
I
will
just wanna
band
say that
together
when I
and
saw that
utilize their
comment-
sexuality to take over and overthrow mankind.
sometimes you gotta do what
You're
you
like a
gotta
bunch
do.
of goddamn fembots.
Yes.
That's what this is.
Those are my little.
Gonna do that again?
I just thought it was very interesting when I read that because I know I've talked about it with some other, some of my friends before, but it's not something I've ever talked about with you, like in detail. We've chatted about it.
Listen,
And I
I'm
said,
going to just make this
train-
bold statement right now. You may think you can train me. You think you can utilize your sexuality to accomplish whatever goal it is you so choose. I can say it right now. When it comes to the thermostat, I don't care how much sex you throw at me. You're not going to get me to change it, especially because on a physical level, body temperature goes up. I'm not going to turn the heat up at all. I'm not going to make it a little warmer. So I'm just poking holes in your theory. Trust. I'm going to be on high alert. I'm like the Night's Watch.
Okay, well,
right
I'm not
now.
trying to change the thermostat. We're on the same page when it comes to the thermostat. We are. We don't fight over that.
I want to know what you're subconsciously plotting, trying to convince me to do. Because I don't think I'm easily swayed like that. I think I'm stubborn enough.
You'd be surprised.
Strong. Then give me an example. If it's so easy, you should be able to give me one example without blowing your plan.
I'm not
See?
going to right now. I'm not going to do it. I refuse because you can only pull back the curtain so much. Because now here I am giving away all my secrets, and now I'm fucked. Like
You've
now
literally
I feel like
given away 0 secrets.
I have given away secrets.
given
I've never ever said that I use my sexual.
Well, that sure as hell isn't going to convince me to do
Also,
it.
can we please talk about the fact that you said I'm annoying? That really pisses me off. I'm just me. I am who I am. And you don't like me? Tough cookies. You pissed me off. Is it time for the mailbag or what?
Sure. While you're digging through the official Bear With Us mailbag, we just want to take a second to remind you to refill it. You guys have been doing awesome. We've got a lot of questions to get to. We'll get to most of them over the next several weeks. Just a reminder, we appreciate everybody who listens to this, everybody who subscribes, everybody who downloads. But enough with the wrestling questions. This is not a wrestling podcast. I understand that's what we do for our careers, for our lives, but that's not what we're doing. Bear with it. This is our escape. This is a chance for us to be Matt and Leah, not who you see on TV. So when people are emailing us going, how do you get into the business? What's your favorite match? Not going to answer it. Not going to answer. I actually have a podcast. You can download it. It's readily available. It is all about wrestling.
Yes.
That ain't this. So respectfully, enough littering the mailbag with questions about who's your favorite wrestler of all time.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Okay. That's all I need to say about that. Continue with the other questions because all the questions, all the comments, all the people giving us good news, we love all that. I love more of that. It makes us feel great to know, to Leah's previous point, that in any capacity, we're helping people out, whether that be just making you laugh, being relatable, or, God willing, once in a while, we actually solve somebody's problem.
Or you just find out how annoying you are. That's
or
cool
you can
too.
watch YouTube and watch Leah shake her boobs.
Here's the mail, it never fails. It makes me want to shake my titties. When it comes, I want to.
Remix!
When it comes, I want to wail. Mela. Question number 1, honey. I'm a 22-year-old male dating a 20-year-old female. We've been dating for close to a year now and everything is going fine, but it's a long distance, so it's tough at times. One of the things that really gets to me about the distance is that I can't be around her as much as I want to be. On top of that, she's mentioned a few times that she's been hit on, given numbers, or asked out by people while she's at work. She's been honest and admitted she enjoys the attention and oftentimes flirts back or gives them her number, but insists it's purely innocent. I've told her that it makes me feel uncomfortable, but she told me setting boundaries is stupid and I should have more faith in her. What do I do?
If you believe that her enjoying all of the extra attention and is innocently passing off her phone number to other dudes, here's some snake oil I'd like to sell you. And by the way, you should know that the earth is flat. Dude, you're getting played. This sounds to me very, very familiar because I used to see it on a daily basis when I would go to work when I was a jack of all trades running a strip club. Because you know what? That is a gimmick that strippers use. If you've ever been to a strip club, Leah, you can attest to this. You've met within 30 seconds. Oh, you're so cute. Here's my real name. I know they call me Cinnamon on stage, but my name's really Destiny. Yeah, that ain't it. They're workers. You're getting worked, period. If she's into you, I understand the distance thing. That's tough, right? You and I have went through that. That can be downright hell. But if you're putting forth the effort and she's not at least matching your effort, you are getting worked. Now, mind you, if while this is going on, you're seeing other people, you're going out with your boys and having the time of your life, then great. Then it is what it is. You guys are both on the same page. But it sounds like based solely on your email that you're putting out everything you can. You're trying to make this work. You're trying to make this a thing. And she is busy enjoying her cake and eating it too, or having her cake and eating it too.
Yeah. This is a big red flag. You need to end this immediately. Like, so bad. First of all, for her to say setting boundaries is stupid, that's ridiculous. In relationships, you have to have boundaries.
Otherwise
Otherwise,
you're
just in an open relationship. And if you guys are in an open relationship, totally fine. If that's what you want to do.
If you have that discussion,
yes.
That is also, we learned that you can go back in the archives, listen to Jason Ellis and his partner Katie talk about this. They have an open relationship, but there are boundaries even in that, and she's free to do what go back and listen to it. I can't explain it any better than they can, but
you have to be on the same page. Like, for her to be able to do that and you're feeling uncomfortable, that's not okay. And here's the thing, you're 22, she's 20. You're so young. And I know when you're 20, 22, you feel like, oh my gosh, like I'm in love. This is perfect. This is what I want. No, go out, experience life. Go do what you gotta do.
Sow your wild oats.
Don't, tie yourself down. Go and enjoy your life and figure out what it is you want and figure out who you are, because who you are now at 22 is going to change by the time you're 25. Never mind when you're 30. So just go do you. And clearly she wants to do her, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you have to both be on the same page. And to me, this is just a huge red flag. You need to end it right away and just move on.
And do me a favor, send us an update, because I have this weird feeling in my soul that this is a stripper situation. Just because as I was reading it in the mailbag, I went, oh my God, this guy's getting worked over by a stripper. If that's the case, you can thank me later for the hundreds, possibly thousands of dollars I just saved you, because that's exactly what this is about.
Question number 2, honey. Hey guys, love the podcast. I have a question that I wanted to get your opinion on. My husband and I have been together for 14 years. I know it's kind of cliche to say, but we are each other's best friend. First of all, it's not cliche.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's so hard to find. Anywho, we by no means have a perfect marriage, but we really don't have too many issues. The one thing we do struggle with is communication. That's very important to me, and I think it is to him too. He's just not very good at it. I don't know if that's a guy thing or a him thing. Simple conversations will turn into arguments because he thinks I'm saying or implying things that I'm not. Then that makes me upset. Then that makes me upset. then that's when it turns into an argument. I hate arguing and I don't want to have to hold it in how I'm feeling about something because I'm afraid we'll argue. I also hate that I'm usually the one who has to break the tension after the argument and speak first. Do y'all have any tips on how to better our communication? I'm going to say this. I think a lot of times the female does take the role to break the ice after the argument. I don't know why it is how it is. That's always how it's been in my past relationships. For the most part, that's how it is with
I
us.
disagree. I think it's on you because I have learned, I have been trained to know that after an argument or a disagreement where there's any sort of real tension and our tempers flare, I can't say until you're ready. And I've
Yeah.
tried. I've
Yeah.
been, hey, baby, you
That's
want to go
fair.
get a beer? And then it's like, you give me this look like, how dare you speak to me yet? And then whenever you're ready, you come at me in whatever manner. And it's like, oh, okay, she's ready to be friends again. But it's not because I don't want to break the ice. And in fact, there are times where I've tried to say, all right, we're done with that argument. I'm trying to put it in the past.
I so disagree. I feel like most of the time when we have an argument, you're still fuming and I have to make a
I don't
joke.
fume, I seethe.
You're seething and I have to make a joke, do something stupid, funny, annoying, according to you,
But that's
to break the ice.
but when you do that, that's when I know, oh, okay, she's back. But
That makes sense.
And if, I'm sure if we looked back on a long enough timeline of our relationship, initially that probably wasn't the case. I have been trained, or I have learned through the course of this that, all right, we just had a knockdown, drag out argument. I'm gonna just back off. And when you're ready, you'll make a joke or you'll say something stupid or you'll come up to me and just sit on my lap and give me a kiss. And it's like, oh, okay, we're back. So I think, but to the email we're discussing here, I think to an extent it is a guy thing because at least historically speaking, most men have been taught to kind of keep their emotions in check, try to keep things. So if something does bother us, I think a lot of us, speaking for myself only, at least right now, you're trained to just bury it, just keep it inside, bottle it up. It's not a big deal. You don't have to worry about it. And then it builds and builds and builds and builds, and you have to release that pressure. And it usually comes out in a form that you do not want it to come out in.
Right.
But that's I think something about that is what toxic masculinity is about, like not being in touch with all parts and all feelings, because it's like, I'm a man, I don't want to talk about our relationship and this issue and how I feel sad inside because of what you do. So I think there is something inherent about being a dude. So I'm here to tell you there's hope. It's just communication. You have to have the conversation.
Well, and I feel like at least in our relationship, that's what I want to speak on, that what I notice if you're going through something or if something that I know would upset you, we've been together, 2.5 years now. I feel like I really know you and I know when something's pissing you off, not involving me, just work or outside things. And I try to pay attention to those things. And then if I'm like, hey, how did that make you feel? Are you still upset about that? And sometimes you're like, oh, it's fine, whatever. But I'm like, well, no, it's okay. Like, talk about it. Let's get it out. And that way it allows you the invitation to talk about it and get it out, release that negative energy. That way it doesn't go somewhere else. And like, then you take it out on me when it's not even anything that involved me. So I think for this person who wrote this email, maybe just try to be a little more observant and notice if it's something that they're going through and try to be there for them.
I would say be observant and try to be proactive and maybe have this conversation. Maybe your husband can listen to this.
Yeah.
Because it's a weird learning curve, because I know that I always thought I can solve any of my problems. If something's bothering me, if something's eating at me, with enough time and enough Jack Daniels, I can get through anything. But ultimately it builds up and then it manifests itself in ways you don't want it to manifest.
Right.
So have the conversation with him and say, hey, listen, maybe I listened to this podcast or I heard this thing. I think we can get better at communication. And the cool news is it sounds like you've got an amazing relationship. So this shouldn't be like an intimidating conversation.
Right.
Just go, hey, next time you're pissed off about something, maybe let me know, even if it's about me and it's all in the approach.
Yeah.
And I'm sure after 14 years, you've learned how each other argue. You guys probably know things. You guys argue, I guarantee, differently than Leah and I argue, but you should have an idea how to handle him. Just be upfront about it. And don't let things build up. This is what we talked about last week, how the smallest issue left unchecked will continue to grow and build and build and build. And then one thing leads to another. Next thing you know, you've actually got a real issue when you could have said, hey, babe, I'd really appreciate it if you help me out around the house a little bit more. Rather than having that conversation and me going, oh, okay, well, I'll do this. I'll Swiffer twice a week. Yeah. Now you're nipping it in the bud, so to speak. So yeah. I think it's an easy fix, and I think he sounds like a reasonable enough guy. And I think the trick is just to try to stay ahead of it before it grows out of control.
Yeah, just be open and honest. There's no harm in just being, hey, I think we need to have a conversation about X, Y, Z, and then just talk about it. That's all you got to do. Just be open and honest. Question number.
Oh, I'm going to stop because if she does, for some reason, get her husband to listen to this, from a dude's perspective, any dude listening, it's going to be uncomfortable. It can downright suck, but you have to just bite your tongue for a while. Let her get out what she has to get out. I am a professional at defending myself before I even realize what I've been accused of. It's something
Why do you admit that?
I've had to work on it. I've had to train myself like some sort of one-legged Lhasa Apso dog in a cage somewhere in.
Babe, you are trained. Let's just say that.
But bite your tongue long enough. Let her get what she's trying to say out in completion. And don't take everything as an accusation.
Yes.
Even when it's uncomfortable, likely, sometimes, occasionally, once in a blue moon, you may even be at fault. But let her get it out. Have the conversation.
I think that's very well put.
I mean, I do speak for a living.
And I interrupt for a living. Question number 3, honey. Hey, Matt and Leah, I love your podcast and I look try that again. I love your podcast and look forward to every Thursday. Leah never stops singing. Okay, I won't stop singing.
Yeah, that's not annoying.
I have a romance question. Ooh. I work full-time, in online school full-time, and a mom to a 4-year-old. My husband and I don't get much alone time at all. And it seems like when we do, I'm so tired and don't feel like doing anything. You both have very busy schedules, so what do you recommend doing to keep things fun and interesting in the bedroom?
The bedroom. I was going to raise one arm to answer the first question, but I want to answer both.
Let's hear it.
I forget what the hell the question was. I got so excited.
What do you do to keep things fun and interesting in the bedroom is what she asked.
Right. The first thing is you have to make one another a priority. You have to set time aside. Leah and I, between our schedules and having my kids, a couple days a week, our schedule is jam-packed, full, but we are pretty freaking good at least like one evening out of the week to go, hey, we're going on a date tonight. It doesn't have to be extravagant. No. We make, pretty frequently we'll put on, last night, for example, we didn't get dressed up. We were wearing sweats and slides and flip-flops and walked to go get dinner. And we had a couple beers and some food and just chatted and we're present. That's the thing. Make sure you take the time to be present with one another. You set aside that time, whether it be 2 or 3 hours, or I understand sometimes it's hard to get a babysitter. Maybe, you have to get a little creative from time to time, but make sure you have time that is as uninterrupted as you can get. If you have small kids, obviously there's wrenches, there's variables that get thrown into all these things, but to be able to take that time and just go, hey, it's me and you, and everything else is white noise for this period of time. That's worked wonders for us. Yeah. That's gotten us into the bedroom.
Yes. So what I'm going to say when it talks about the bedroom, we talked about this in the very early stages of our podcast. Someone had asked about this, and I think it's something that really helps us. Appointment sex. Make appointment sex. Make it like a date on the calendar, a time. You know that that's what you're going to do. That way you can build up some anticipation. Since you guys both are very busy, maybe while you're at class one night, like before you go to class, send him a sexy text or a sexy photo, and then don't even look at your phone. go and do your class, do what you got to do. And then knowing like, okay, next time you look at your phone, you know, he's going to be aroused. He's going to be excited to see that. And he's can't wait for you to get home, or to know like, okay, so I'm going to blow up our spot right now. Every Wednesday we have shower sex. That's like a thing we do. And it's not even like we make it a point to
it's
like,
really
do it. It
convenient
happens,
because you go to the gym. Now I go to the gym. We both have
get
our
home
things
around the same time.
and it's like, oh, we both need to shower actually.
Let's shower together.
Right.
And you know, what happens in the shower eventually makes its way out onto
Eventually,
the bathroom floor. You know, you got to do what you got to do, but that's something that I look forward to, you know, and you have to make time for it. And there's no excuse for it. I don't think it doesn't matter how busy you are. It doesn't matter, you know, how often you see each other. Make it an appointment. Okay, this is what we have to do. Tonight is our night. Whether it's even if it's once a month, we're going on this date on X date, and then you go have your date, and then you come home and you do what you gotta do. Sometimes you can do it when you're out. I know when you have a kid, maybe you have your babysitter. Go do it when you're out. Go to the bathroom of the restaurant and do what you got to do. Make it a little fun, make it a little spicy. Why not? Especially if it's a single stall, like single use bathroom. There's nothing wrong with that.
If it's like a trough, like a urinal trough, even hotter.
You really know how to ruin everything.
No, but I agree with you. You're absolutely correct. But this also goes back to one of our other tenets, communication. We were just talking about it. Have this conversation. And we do it. We have a great open discussion. Dialogue about sex all the time. I think the goal, kind of like even before we started this podcast, we said, hey, someday it would be really great to normalize sexuality. Because look, guys, it's 2021. Everybody's doing it.
Everyone, yeah.
It's just a matter of everybody's still kind of got there's all these different
stigmas, or like, oh God, no, you can't. Like, it's like taboo to talk about sex.
Right, it is.
Come on.
Especially if it's your partner, somebody you're in a relationship that you trust.
That you're having sex with?
Right. You have kids. I don't imagine that happened by accident.
Yeah.
Just sit down and go, hey, listen. And sometimes it's going to be weird. It's going to be uncomfortable. I don't think most people are probably as open as you and I are with each other. But everybody comes from different backgrounds. Yeah. You learn what you like, what you don't like. Everybody has an opinion or something that they like about sex. It is up to you as a partner to discuss that with your partner. Yeah. Right?
Try new things. See what they're into.
Right. And they may blow your mind. They may shock you, or they may go, this is really intimidating to me. I'm uncomfortable. In which case you go, all right, cool. We're going to ease into this. Yeah. We're going to take this step by step. That's above all else, no matter what happens, no matter how kinky or freaky you can possibly get in the bedroom, it's all about making sure your partner's comfortable. If you stick with their comfort level, if they're a freak and they want to just get after it and all bets are off, awesome. Congratulations. Lucky you. If they need kind of eased into something, then ease them into it. And I would be willing to bet you're going to get more results that way, because they'll go, last time we tried that new thing, it turned out pretty awesome. What if we tried this? And you kind of open the floodgates slowly but surely. And then you start realizing, oh, wow, this doesn't have to be this intimidating, crazy production where,
or like work where, you know, sometimes it feels like, oh God, like to have sex. Like, you know, some people I think look at sex as like a chore.
Right. And I'm sure somebody listening is like, oh God, I hate, and it just sucks. Okay. So be honest with your partner and say, hey, I hate when people do this, or when you do this, or you suck at this.
Or you need to try this, or I need you to do this more. Like, no one I think has ever gotten, you know, you're not going to break up over that, especially if you present it in a way that you're like, hey, like, I was just kind of thinking, like, it would really turn me on if you did it like this. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I don't think your partner would be upset about you getting turned on, you know? Like, you just have to have that line of communication open. Or like, when you're or sometimes when you're just doing it, like maybe you move your partner where you need them to be, maybe move their head where it needs to be, or move their hand where it needs to be, or like say, I would really like if you wanted to do this.
You know what? And I was actually waiting to make a joke, but I think you made a very, very valid point there. Guys, don't be afraid to take a little direction.
Yeah.
Okay. As much as we all think we are sex gods and studs and everyone cannot wait to be with us because we are the best sex you'll ever have, you have to just realize everybody's different. Everybody's body's different. Some people are stimulated by other things that others aren't. Some things you might go, wait, you want me to do what? Hey, listen to your partner. You guys have a conversation, and to Leah's point, maybe it's mid activity, but
just do it.
Be open to one another, and you'll be amazed at the things that you guys will discover about yourselves, about each other, and about what you guys do best together.
And ladies, your man or woman cannot read your mind. You know, if you don't tell them what you like or what you want, they're not going to know. So sometimes it's one of those things where if they're kind of like approaching what it is you might want them to do, like maybe you let them know verbally or physically, you tell them like, oh yeah, like I want more of that or whatever it may be. They can't read your mind, and vice versa. Like dudes, chicks can't read your minds. You know, you have to kind of like sometimes what you like or what you want. And you can't get mad at your partner if you're not satisfied or if they're not doing what you want them to do because they don't know. And like Matt said, everyone is different. Everyone likes things different ways and whatever it may be, whatever you're into, it's cool. But you can't assume and no one can read your mind. So you just have to be open and honest.
So if you want your partner to dress like Donald Duck and beat you over the head with a golf shoe mid-sex, you got to just have the conversation.
Babe, I can't believe you just said that on
I didn't say you wanted to have that conversation. Is there anything left in the mailbag?
The mailbag is empty. That's all the time we have for today. And now everyone knows that you like Daffy Duck.
Donald Duck. Oh. Daffy Duck doesn't wear clothes. Thank you very much.
What's the difference between Donald and Daffy?
Oh my God, really?
Wait.
Donald Duck is the Disney guy.
With the blue.
With the sailor hat.
Daffy is like the black duck.
Yes, he's got like the white collar.
And the
orange beak.
Orange beak.
Looney Tunes, Disney.
Darkwing Duck.
Darkwing Duck has nothing to do with the conversation, but if you dress like him and hit me above the head and neck with a pair of Louboutins, he's got, oh my God, I just went from 6 to midnight. No, I'm kidding. But we'll be back next week. We got something special lined up for you. We're going to have a very, very cool guest here on Bear With Us. We are going to count our lucky stars. Quite literally, we will be joined by a real life astrologer to talk signs, love, and all the wisdom in between.
Luckily, I already know our signs are very compatible, so that's a good thing.
What if she shows up and just blows our mind and goes, that's the old calendar. It doesn't work anymore. You're not meant for one another.
Well, then we have to break up.
Cool.
And now you don't have to worry about how annoying I am. So it's great.
Listen, a tiger can't change its stripes, baby. Make sure you
refill.
Offended,
you guys. I can't get over it. I can't believe that my boyfriend thinks I'm annoying.
I didn't say you are annoying. I said you can be annoying.
You can be annoying.
I didn't say I couldn't.
Like so annoying. More annoying than I'm annoying, probably. You annoy the out of me.
Remember when you told me I was like a mangy adoption dog?
I never said that. I just said you have been trained very well. You take direction great. And I love that for us. I love that for our relationship.
I'm like your little Jack Russell Terrier.
My little puppy.
I'm just naming dogs that
I know. You're talking about a Lhasa Apso. What is it? A Lhasa
Apso? It's like a long-haired dog.
Yes, I know what it is.
Yeah.
You're like my little schnauzer. That's what you are. You're my schnauzer.
Woof. Make sure you refill the mailbag.
The mailbag.
Bear with us.
That was annoying. I'll take it.
At
that was
gmail.com. Subscribe, like, wherever you get your podcast. Check out the YouTube. Watch Leah shake her boobs. And we'll be back next week.
Bear with us.
Goodbye forever.